Have you ever wondered why one of the most beautiful symbols in the world was once the most hated structure in Paris? How could a tower that now defines romance once make its own people furious and disgusted? And how did a pile of iron and bolts become the beating heart of Paris? That's exactly where the story begins. It was the year 1887. Paris was preparing for the biggest exhibition on Earth, the 1889 World's Fair, celebrating 100 years since the French Revolution. The government wanted to build something that would represent progress, engineering power, and the modern spirit of France. And in the middle of it all, an engineer named Gustave Eiffel stepped forward with a bold and strange idea. A 300-meter iron tower, made entirely of steel, at a time when most people still believed beauty meant marble, stone, and classical symmetry. For many, his design looked like a giant iron monster. More than 300 of France's most famous artists, writers, and architects signed a letter to stop its construction. They said the tower would disfigure Paris and betray the soul of its art. But Eiffel refused to back down. He believed beauty comes from purpose, not decoration. He said the tower would not just be a monument, but a laboratory for science and technology. Construction began in March 1887. Over 250 workers labored day and night, climbing higher than anyone had ever built before. 18,000 used 38 pieces of iron, held together by more than 2.5 million rivets. Each piece was cut with millimeter precision and assembled on site. They climbed using ropes and wooden planks. There were no modern safety systems. Yet during the entire construction, only one worker lost his life. A stunning record for that era. 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days later, on March 31st, 1889, the Eiffel Tower officially opened. That day, Eiffel himself climbed to the top and raised the French flag. At 300 meters, it was the tallest structure in the world. But Parisians still hated it. They called it the railway lamp, the iron monster, the giant telegraph pole. It's even said that the writer Guy de Maupassant ate at the tower's restaurant just so he wouldn't have to see it from outside. But time was not Eiffel's enemy. It became his greatest ally. When the World's Fair began, millions of people came from around the world to see the strange new tower. Within a few months, more than 2 million visitors had climbed it. And suddenly what had been the ugly scar of Paris became its shining star. But the story didn't end there. According to the original plan, the tower was meant to be dismantled after 20 years. In other words, by 1909, it should have been gone completely. But Gustave Eiffel was smarter than that. He began using the tower for scientific experiments: meteorology, wind testing, and later, wireless telegraphy. In 1910, the Eiffel Tower transmitted France's first military radio signals. And during World War I, it helped the French army intercept enemy messages. From that moment on, the tower wasn't just a building, it was part of the nation's defense and pride. Eiffel died in 1923, but his tower lived on. In the following decades, it went through major repairs and transformations. In the 1930s, it received a new lighting system. In the 1950s, a TV antenna was added to the top, increasing its height to 330 meters. Over time, the tower's color changed many times. Did you know it gets repainted every 7 years? Around 60 tons of special paint are used each time to prevent rust. Its official color today is called Eiffel Bronze, a warm mix of brown and gold that glows beautifully at sunset. In recent decades, the tower entered the digital age. In the year 2000, 20,000 sparkling lights were installed, creating the nightly glow we all know today. These lights are timed with precision and powered by a dedicated system, shining for 5 minutes each night. But even today, maintaining the tower is no easy job. Inspections, repainting, and safety checks cost millions of euros every year. Still, that's nothing compared to the revenue it generates. Over 7 million people visit the Eiffel Tower each year, and around 80% of them are foreign tourists. Today, it stands not just as a symbol of Paris, but of love, technology, and resilience against criticism. When we stand beneath it and look up, time seems to bend. The same iron that was once despised now inspires millions. Maybe that's what makes the Eiffel Tower eternal. What was once a symbol of ugliness has become a masterpiece of courage and creativity. We now understand that every great idea faces resistance at first. But if, like Eiffel, you believe in it deeply enough, even iron can become poetry.